Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Focus Vandalia. My name is Rich Hopkins. I'm the Communications Manager for the city. And on today's program, we've got some great advice from our Crime Prevention Officer on how to keep your Christmas purchases out of the hands of criminals. Talking about the Christmas season, we'll give you exclusive details on Vandalia's Christmas tree lighting coming up in early December, and we'll take a peek at the 2011 City of Vandalia budget. But our first stop today is here on Sand Lake Drive, home of Projects Unlimited. This is a company that's been in town for 3 generations, and as we're about to find out, it's a company where business is booming. We've all been waiting anxiously for word that the economy might be making an uptick. Well, this month, Assistant City Manager Rob Anderson says there's plenty of good news coming from the Vandalia business community, including what's happening here at Projects Unlimited.
Projects Unlimited is a local company. They're in their 3rd generation of ownership. They just received a big contract to provide cable assemblies and wire harnesses for military helicopters, and they have just completed about an 8,000 square foot expansion of their existing facility and are going to add up to as many as 25 or 30 new people.
But the good news doesn't stop there. Another larger Vandalia employer is about to begin employing more people.
Delphi, I don't think, is the Delphi that many people remember in this area. It's the Vandalia facility is one of only 3 Delphi locations in the U.S. and actually one of only 2 thermal locations in the world. So they are starting to see some growth in what they do, which is they manufacture HVAC modules for many different types of automobiles. So when you turn your air conditioner on in your car, it could have been produced right here in Vandalia. And they're actually adding as many as 100 new people, given some of the work that they've been given up to this point. And there's a potential, though, if they receive some additional work that they're applying for, that number could get as high as 200 people.
To help with the expansion project, the City of Vandalia is applying for an economic development grant through Montgomery County. It's called an EDGE grant.
Yeah, we're applying for an EDGE grant, which is through Montgomery County, to help offset some of the infrastructure costs that they're going to need to do to bring that property up to the standards that they need it to be. For example, they're looking at upgrading the parking lot, filling in potholes, adding some new parking for these new employees. They need to do some overhead crane in the building and some other fixed asset improvements that they need to do to make that site workable for this many employees.
Anderson says the city works hard to put companies in contact with the resources they may need to grow.
What my role is as economic development is to try to help find all the available assistance for companies when they're looking to do expansion. So we would do this EDGE application not just for Delphi, really it's whatever company that is making this type of an improvement and an upgrade, we would apply on their behalf.
Anderson says one other segment of the local economy that's doing very well is one that spent the last couple of years taking a hit.
One segment of our business sector that is really starting to show some signs of strength and starting to grow is the automobile dealerships. Bo Townsend Ford now has the Lincoln Mercury dealership. Joseph Toyota is actually doing very well and could add a Hyundai dealership in the near future. So we're really starting to see some growth in our automobile dealerships, and that's a pretty large segment of our economy.
And while we're talking about growing organizations, we should mention the work that's going on here at Stone Quarry Crossings.
We've got our fire stations finally complete, and they're in making runs out of there, which is kind of the first public building to be complete. But if you look right next door, the Morton Middle School site's really starting to take shape and starting to see some height on the building that's coming out of the ground, and it's really starting to look like a school building. They anticipate that project being complete sometime next year, possibly for the 2011 school year.
And while they're not quite ready for the trim on the new middle school, the trimmings and the trappings are on the minds of the folks at the Vandalia Recreation Center. That's where plans are now underway for the annual Christmas tree lighting.
Yeah, this will be our 3rd annual Christmas tree lighting, and the first 2 years was held on a Friday evening. This year, due to Butler High School boys basketball program opens their season on that Friday, December 3rd and Saturday, December 4th, we felt it would be important to try to stay away from that, so we moved it to a Thursday evening, December 2nd.
Along with the change in the day, organizers are planning one other major change for this year's tree lighting, and that is in who will be asked to flip the switch.
This year we're going to go a little bit different, and I think we're going to pick a youngster out of the crowd, perhaps. We're still organizing how we're going to go about that, but this year it will be a young child from the community will be selected to do that flip the switch honors.
You'll definitely want to stay tuned as more details on this exciting change are released in the next couple of weeks. But Clark says most everything else that's made this a popular event the last 2 years will remain the same.
Yeah, it starts at 6 o'clock. We have all kind of activities scheduled that evening. We have entertainment by the Morton Middle School 7th grade choir and the Merlin Heights Elementary School bell choir. So they'll be performing during the course of the evening. Our friend in the red suit will be arriving on a fire truck. So we've got that special entrance planned for them, and we'll also have some refreshments and stuff for those in attendance.
An event like the tree lighting ceremony takes a lot of planning to pull off and a lot of help along the way.
You know, in order to get the tree, we have always sought input from the community to donate a tree. This year we had, again, was no exception. We had plenty of trees to choose from. We have selected one that will be arriving sometime in late November to be placed. So we do appreciate the community's support and input on that. And then we have Inglewood Towing and Recovery, who's vital to this process because they donate their time and equipment to come over and move the tree from the selected location to the rec center.
And once the holiday season is officially underway, you'll want to get out there and start buying those special gifts that make the Christmas season special for your family. Vandalia Crime Prevention Officer Holly Estep has a few suggestions on how you can avoid falling prey to criminals looking to make their season a little brighter at your expense.
One of the things they can do is to put the items that they buy in the trunk of their car instead of leaving it in the back seat when they're out shopping. Most of the time they buy so much stuff that they just want to throw it in the car and go back in and shop. At least put it in your trunk, because if a criminal sees things in the back seat of their car, you're most likely going to get those items taken.
Estep says once you've got your gifts home, you're not out of the woods yet. She says it's a good idea to keep your tree and your gifts out of plain sight from someone that might be peeking in your windows. She says the less a crook can see in your window, the better. And once you've unwrapped those gifts, there's even more to think about.
After Christmas season is over with and they've gotten a TV for Christmas, a computer, don't put the box outside next to for the trash to pick up. Hide it somehow. This lets criminals know that these items are going to be in your house or your apartment, and it's a good way to get them taken.
Estep says the vast majority of people are decent, but she says a few bad apples can ruin a family's holiday.
Everyone, that purchases items for their loved ones, they work hard for their money, and it's unfortunate thieves know that and they're willing to take advantage of it.
And if you're an artist looking to create an artistic or cultural experience, here's something you might be able to take advantage of. The City of Vandalia's Cultural Arts Fund was created by Vandalia City Council in 2001.
The purpose of that was to bring opportunities for culture of all kinds to the citizens of Vandalia, and we like to benefit as many Vandalia citizens as possible. The Cultural Arts Grant Program is administered by the Cultural Arts Advisory Committee, and they will be accepting grant applications beginning in November and December. Application packets are due back in February.
Assistant to the City Manager Julie Trick is a staff liaison to the Cultural Arts Committee. She says there's a wide range of projects that typically get funded.
And the kind of things that they are looking for are any kind of a cultural opportunity that they can bring to the citizens of Vandalia, whether it's into the schools, whether it's for just the general public in Vandalia, any kind of art exhibit, any kind of performance.
Trick said there's one factor that boosts the project's chances of getting funding.
The committee looks specifically for the number of Vandalia residents that the event or the project or the exhibit impacts. The more Vandalians, the better. And
so if you're looking for funding for an artistic project, or if you know someone who is, getting an application is easy.
Applications can be picked up at the Vandalia Municipal Building in the City Manager's office, or you can call the City Manager's office and we'll send you one. They're also available online on our website, www.vandaliaohio.org.
Final stop today is right here in the Vandalia City Council chambers, where council members right now are considering this. It's the 2011 budget. Bottom line, it's a $36 million budget for next year. Council members say they're going to take a close look at economic indicators in the first few months of 2011 and decide how best to spend capital expenditures in the latter half of the year. City Manager Jeff Hoagland tells me there's one area that there will not be capital cuts, and that's in areas that pertain to the safe and stable issue passed by voters in May of 2010. We'll have a lot more on the budget in the coming months. That's going to do it for this edition of Focus Vandalia. I'm Rich Hopkins. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.